Today, we are diving deep into a part of the data world that's absolutely critical. But honestly, it's often hidden from view. We're going to go on a journey from total, utter chaos to crystal clarity, and we're going to do it by exploring a process called data wrangling.
So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll look at why raw data is such a mess to begin with. Then we'll nail down what data wrangling actually is. After that, we'll walk through its three main phases: the planning, the dirty work, and the final polish. And to wrap it all up, we'll see why all this effort is so worth it.
All right, let's jump right in with the core problem. I want you to imagine you're trying to cook a 5-star meal, right? But your kitchen is a disaster. Ingredients are missing, some are unlabeled, others are just weird. Well, that's pretty much exactly what it feels like to work with raw data.
And that leads to this really big question. Why can't we just use data the way we find it? The short answer? Because in its natural state, data is usually a complete mess. It's just not ready for any kind of real analysis.
This right here shows the whole transformation. It's like night and day. On the left, you've got the raw data chaos. Dates written 10 different ways, empty cells everywhere, weird numbers that throw everything off. But on the right, after wrangling, you get this beautiful, clean, consistent, and reliable data set. Getting from the left to the right, well, that's the whole point.
So how do we get from that messy kitchen to one that's ready for a top chef? That is where data wrangling, or as you'll sometimes hear it called, data munging, comes into the picture. This is our mission.
And here's the official definition. It's the whole process of cleaning, manipulating, and organizing that raw data so you can actually use it for analysis or modeling. Basically, think of it as all the prep work you do before you can start cooking up some amazing insights.
Now, before you even think about cleaning that kitchen, you need a recipe, right? You have to know what you're trying to make. So this first phase, it's all about creating the blueprint for our work. It's all about thinking before doing.
And that blueprint phase has some really crucial steps. You kick things off by figuring out the exact problem you're trying to solve. Then you do your homework. You see what other people have done. From there, you pick your methods, you design your whole approach, and only then do you go out and actually collect the data you need.
Okay, so we've got our blueprint. Now it's time for phase 2. This is where we get to roll up our sleeves and really get our hands dirty with the data. This is the heart and soul of the wrangling process.
So what does this dirty work look like? Well, it starts with data cleaning. We're talking about hunting down and fixing errors, getting rid of duplicates, and dealing with those weird outliers. Next up is transformation, which could be anything from changing formats to creating whole new variables. And then you have to tackle the big one: what to do with all those missing pieces of information.
So what do you do with those blank spots? Well, there are a few common plays. Mean imputation is the quick and easy route. You just plug in the average value, but you risk smoothing out the interesting details in your data. Then you have more advanced methods, like regression or multiple imputation. They're definitely more complex, but they try to make an educated guess, predicting a value that actually fits the pattern of the data you do have. It's all about preserving the integrity of the dataset.
Whew! After all that intense cleaning and transforming, we finally make it to the last phase. This is all about putting that final polish on our work, making sure it's high quality, and, this is key, making sure other people can trust and understand what we did.
So here's how we wrap it up. We start with a serious quality check to make sure everything is accurate. Then, and this is so important, we document every single step we took. After that, we can do a little preliminary analysis to see if we're on the right track, which then lets us draw our final conclusions and make recommendations.
And that documentation part? It all comes down to this core principle: providing transparency and reproducibility. It is absolutely critical, because good science, whether you're in a lab or analyzing data, demands that someone else can pick up your notes, follow your steps, and get the exact same result.
So, after all of that planning, all that cleaning, all that polishing, was it worth it? Oh, absolutely. Let's talk about the payoff. Because this is why data wrangling isn't just a chore. It is the foundation for everything that comes next.
It really boils down to this: quality in, quality out. When you do good wrangling, you create high-quality data. That high-quality data leads to analysis you can actually trust and models that are reliable. If you skip this step, well, you could have the most powerful algorithm in the world, but it won't matter. It's the classic case of garbage in, garbage out.
And if you need any more proof of how important this is, just look at this number. Some experts estimate that data scientists spend up to 80% of their time just getting the data ready. 80%!
That's before a single bit of analysis even starts. It's this massive hidden iceberg of work in data science.
And so, that's where we'll leave it. We've taken a complete chaotic mess and turned it into something clean, organized, and reliable. The journey of wrangling is done. But in a way, the real adventure is just about to begin. Because the question now is, with this clean data, what story is it finally ready to tell?